Life Changers Church. Really sorry that I was not able to be with you today, but I'm still here, trying to make sure that I take care of everything that I could possibly take care of. And so, let's get started, shall we? It's time for the keys to life, and when I say keys to life, you say, come on, come on, come on, let's do it real loud. When I say keys to life, you say, here we go, here we go, here we go. Today is November the 13th, and number one, don't count your time for God. Don't count your time for God. One of the things that you need to understand is that you shouldn't be like, hey God, you know, it's been 4 weeks, it's been 7 weeks, it's been 8 weeks. He knows what time it's been. You need to focus on what you need to focus on. Whatever he said do, whenever he said do it, where he said do it, how he said do it. In this world, we want our bad situations and our trials and temptations and persecutions, we want them to just go away real fast. But they don't always go away as fast as we want them to go. So the best thing to do is try to learn the lesson that God has called you to learn in the time that you're going through so that you can get out faster. What we see is not always what God sees. What we see is not always what other people see. You can only concern yourself with what you're doing, with the time that you're doing it. People will not see it how you see it. Your boss will not see it how you see it. But if you focus, if you work, if you push, it will work itself out. God will bring you out. He has a prepared place for you. He is ready to bless you. He likes to see you blessed. He wants you blessed. So don't worry about the time. Work the time. Work the time. Sometimes with the time and season, we did not prepare. Now hear me this and know this very well. Sometimes with time and season, we did not prepare well enough. And we are in a situation for prospering, and we're still trying. We're still preparing. Understand this. If you're still trying and you're still preparing, then you're going to be in a situation where you cannot consistently do much. What do I mean to explain? Oh, let me see, how can I say this to you? If there's a time and season for everything, and you should have been preparing, then when you get to the situation, you're not ready. You're still what? Preparing. You got the job, but you were supposed to be preparing for the job. Now you're on the job training when they didn't give you on the job training. They wanted you to work because you said you were above this. You said you were ready for this. You decided you wanted to get married. You decided we're going to do it right now. You were not training for marriage. You thought you could do marriage, and now you're in marriage trying to prepare yourself for marriage. What I'm trying to get you to understand, what I'm trying to get you to see, is there are seasons for a reason. There is seasons for a reason. And within that time, you focused on telling God, hey, God, I'm ready. I want. 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 And he's like, work for it. Prepare yourself. Get ready. Because sometimes you put yourself out there and you're not ready. Dot the I's, cross the T's, get up early, work it well, to where it's a habit. Because when it becomes a habit and you get into the situation, you get into the relationship, you get into the business plan, you get into the business partnership, you get into the job, people don't know what it took you to get there? Yes, that's understood. Did it take a lot? Yes, that's understood. Did you spend a lot of time up all night? Yes, that's understood. But you're not preparing in the situation, you're prepared for the situation. Number two, when you tell yourself to do something, follow through. When you tell yourself to do something, follow through. What does that mean? It means that I don't get baited into the trap of thinking about stuff. People get baited into the trap of, well, what if, and then, but I could, and no, and If you tell yourself to do something, do it. If you say, I'm going to do this, when I said tell yourself to do something, I don't mean just be a man of your word. What I'm saying to you is right in the place of you saying, Corey, get this done. Okay, you got to get this done. Do it. Forget the thing. I'm not saying don't be a man of your word. I'm saying is when you're talking to yourself, do what you just said. If you're doing push-ups and you say one more rep, do one more rep. If you're saying just apologize, don't go into the conversation. Apologize, don't go into the conversation. You have wisdom for a reason. And it's weird to me because I find that people, and I've done it myself, trust me, I'm not trying to say I'm perfect, I'm not perfect, but I told myself, don't say it, don't do it, don't do it. And then I'm like, but I've got it, and I'm going to say it because I need to say this thing. I don't need to say it. Can I tell you right now, you don't need to say what you think you need to say? But it's right. It doesn't matter. You don't always need to say what you think you need to say. Sometimes you need to be quiet because it's for your betterment. It's for your good that you let this conversation not become an argument, that you let this conversation not become bigger than it. We have to learn that wisdom, God has given us wisdom, but we don't always use wisdom. So don't get baited in that trap. Don't respond just because you're right. Wisdom will tell you sometimes it's okay to be right and not have to respond. Many times, the purchase, the sale, the idea, the response is not worth it. Just because it's on sale doesn't mean you buy it. You understand what I'm saying? Just because it's there doesn't mean you do it. Listen to yourself. I don't need to do that. I don't need to buy that. I don't need to get it. I don't need to respond that way. Don't do it. I promise you it's better for you. If you just listen to yourself and don't, what happens is you go back and forth between wisdom and instant gratification. Wisdom and instant gratification says, say it, you're right, say it. Wisdom says, yeah, but you don't always have to tell people you're right. Wisdom says, maybe you're wrong and you don't realize what part you're wrong. So if you shut up, you'll see that it's better not to say anything than to say something anyway. Number 3, you get to decide every moment of the day. Sometimes life happens. A lot of times life happens. But you get to decide what you do, how you do it, how you respond. And this is important for you. This is necessary for you. This is something that you have to grasp. This is something you have to see. That just because something happened doesn't mean you have to lose your stuff. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to lose it. You don't. You absolutely do not have to go crazy. What are you willing to handle? Ask yourself. Because we're not doing this every day. Just block that out. Put a cross on, I manage every day. No, you manage every moment. You manage every moment. Please get that in your mind. God does not manage your every moment. You manage your every moment. God is inside of you. God will help you. God will teach you. God will show you. God will be there for you. God gives wisdom. God gives opportunity. God gives management. God gives everything for you to succeed. But you make the decision. So what is it that you're willing to handle? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to let go of? What are you willing to forgive? Here's a better question. What are you willing not to forgive? What are you willing to hold on to and then use in place to tell somebody about what they did? What are you willing to... See, we have to learn how to put ourselves in a position to stop, move, and think, or stop and sit there and say, okay, I could flash out, I could flip out, I could go crazy, I could respond this way, or I could just have a moment and think, what is the best idea for right here, right now? And sometimes people are like looking for you to respond. It's okay, let them look. It's okay to be quiet. It's okay to have time to think. So you don't hang on and say nothing? I'm just thinking about what I want to say. what will be best for me to say, or even if it's anything I should say. That's wisdom. That's smart. That's managing my moment. Sometimes you just have to learn how to be quiet. Because everything you think is right is not always right. And sometimes what you think is right, but it's not right for now. So you have to decide that you're going to make some decisions, you're going to make some moves, and you can't just say, oh, well, the day's going to go well, and I'm just going to happen, and then you don't manage the rest of it. No, you actually have to deal with every single person differently, every single situation differently. I know it's going to take a lot. I know you're like, oh my goodness, I have to watch every word that comes out of my mouth. Yes, it's yours. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So if you don't manage it, then what's going to happen? If you don't manage it, then what are we going to do? Because someone has to manage it. And if you don't manage it, it is a reckless, loose cannon, and it will be managed by someone else and their actions toward what you do and how you do. And then you lose the business. Then you lose the job. And then you lose the relationship. And then you lose all these things. And you're like, what happened? I didn't manage well. I had it, but I lost it. Because I didn't choose to figure out what it takes to keep it. I did not study it. I did not work it. I did not make it make sense. We have to do that. We have to put ourselves in that position. And those are the keys to life.